Hi guys, welcome to my channel Ashkarnor. I hope you guys are fine and are safe. So in today's video we'll be talking a little bit about Crassula'S. So today I had a comment and to be honest I was not aware about that particular variety of Crassula, and I always assumed that all of the Crassula'S tend to get into their growing period during the winters. Like here you can see these are my Crassula Campfire. This is how the stress colors tend to look like. Now they are exposed to morning direct sunlight for 5 to 6 hours, but right now the temperatures have started to drop and I noticed that the stress colors are starting to vanish. They're starting to fade off, even though they have been kept in the same place where they were colored all throughout the summers, because they are summer dormant, so they had put their stress colors. But now I have started to notice the crown area, as you can see, it's getting lighter in color, which means that it's getting into its growing period. The same with this one. This was a small little stem cutting that I had put in and it has given me a lot of pups. They are also in morning direct sunlight, but they have completely taken off their stress colors. They have turned completely green in color. Ideally they're supposed to be this red orange in color, the stress colors, but I can see that they are slowly preparing to get into their growing season. But again, it's always better to check because this is something also very new to me. As I said, I thought all Crassula'S tend to go dormant or tend to get into their growing period during the winters. So I'll put the succulent that belongs to the genus of Crassula that tends to go dormant during the winters and summer is their growing period. So I'll put the image on the screen. So I'm sure there would be a lot more, but this is what I just realized today, and I'm putting up the picture on the screen. So this is how the succulent tends to look like. It belongs to the Crassula, also called as the jade, and they tend to go dormant during the winters. Whereas our Crassula Campfire, our Crassula ovata, which is the jade plant, tends to get into its growing period during the winters. I had to again check Wikipedia. I'm not very sure how accurate Wikipedia is, but as per Wikipedia, all of these succulents that I mentioned, which are in their growing period during the winters, Crassula Campfire, our Red Pagoda, and our Crassula Jade, they also tend to go into their growing period during the winters. But this particular succulent that you're seeing, the picture that you're seeing on the screen right now, tends to go dormant during winters. Very strange. I didn't expect that, but yes, there is always something new to learn with succulents. So I think this was a very new thing that I learned today, and I thought I'll share it with you guys as well. So the care requirements remains the same during the growing period. The watering has to be a little bit less, even though they are in their growing period, but we have to reduce the watering because during winters it takes a little time for the soil to dry. There is always slight moisture in the soil, so this is something that you'll have to check individually, because not everyone's soil is going to dry at the same time. If I'm going to say that my soil tends to dry within 4 or 5 days or 6 days during winters, it's not necessary that your soil will also dry the same time. You have to definitely do a check personally. Now over here I had this one of Pachyphytum variety. I'm not very sure about the ID, but this was completely damaged by one of the pigeon over here, a very notorious pigeon, and probably she thought that these are some kind of seeds, and she happened to pluck out all of them. But luckily it is starting to grow back again. I initially thought it's a moonstone, but again I'm not very sure because it looks quite different. Probably some other variety of Pachyphytum, as in when it tends to grow we will get a much clearer idea. But nevertheless it's doing quite well. I just had one of it, so I had purchased one of the combo of around 20 succulents and I had got this one. I was not very sure. It was not doing quite well when I initially got it, so I just dumped it in this pot, and then it was again damaged by the pigeon, and then it completely lost all the leaves, and luckily it started growing back again. So I'm very happy about it. I hope it does grow healthy and we will get to know what exactly it is. It doesn't look a lot like the moonstone, but probably some other variety. So nevertheless, as you can see, the Crassula'S are doing fantastic. I had lost all of my Crassula'S while I was shifting from one place to another. The only things that I was left with was some stems and some stretched Crassula'S, but then as you can see I had put the stem and now it started to grow into 3 pups. Probably 4 of the pups are there in this, so I will wait for some time. I'm not going to separate them right now because this is the right time. You can always separate your Crassula Campfire, Crassula Red Pagoda, Crassula ovata, which is the jade plant. You can propagate them right now because they are in their growing period, but I'll just wait for some time. I'll let it grow a little bit more and then probably I'll do separation of the offsets. And the soil mix tends to remain the same for our Crassula'S. I use the same soil mix what I use for my Echuvarias, Graptovarias, Graptopetalum. The soil is very loose, porous and well draining. It has 80% of aquarium sand and 20% of filtered garden soil. No fertilizers at all, and they have been doing quite well. So that's all about it. I hope that this video was helpful to you. If it was, please hit the like button. If you're new to my channel, please consider subscribing to it. Until then, take care, stay safe and keep planting.